Would you consider you and Gervonta friends?
Friends? Probably.
Is it going to be hard to go in the ring and fight your friend?
Not at all.
Are you all going to be friends after?
Yeah, why not?
Either way it goes.
Both making money. Yeah.
But you guys are making each other bleed.
Hopefully I just make him bleed.
Oh, true. Okay.
And Gervonta Tank Davis just been released to the public. We know now, December 14th, Houston, Texas, he's gonna be facing a very tough opponent in LamontRoach. Can you tell us a little bit about the history between them two?
Oh man, they've been knowing each other from the amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, you know. Roach and him back and forth battles and whatnot. It's gonna be a pretty interesting fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach he come to fight, and I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about, oh, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for the community.
Gervonta Tank Davis recently broke his silence regarding the cancellation of his highly anticipated fight with LamontRoach, offering insight into the situation that left fans disappointed. The much-talked-about matchup had generated significant buzz, but unforeseen circumstances caused the event to fall apart.
For myself, but I do it for the people with me. My whole family is from DC. My whole family, like my entire family.
Don't bring them.
Don't
bring them.
For what?
Don't bring them. I'm telling you.
They gonna celebrate with me. Yeah,
Don't bring them.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know something. His father was up here shaking on the what's the name? He was shaking on the
Pops.
On the what?
On my kids, he was shaking on this thing. On my kids, he was shaking.
Don't
Never.
say, bro.
He's strategic. He's setting guys up. He been boxing since a little kid, just like I've been boxing since a little kid. And you can tell, like, with the experience. Even with his last fight with Frank Martin, you can see Frank Martin was more so an amateur. Like, the experience he got is not.
Yeah.
Thank all day, baby. Thank all day. Easy work. Easy work. My money goes to it. All right, guys.
Right in the front right here. Get the front rest there.
Easy work, Tank.
Come on, Matt, get down here, please.
Right here.
Show us your face.
Back to the camera in the back. Oh, in the back of the line.
The build-up to the Davis-Roach fight had been marked by intense preparation and high expectations. Both fighters had been training rigorously, Davis focusing on sharpening his skills and maintaining peak physical condition. The fight was seen as a significant step in Davis's career, offering an opportunity to further solidify his status as one of the top boxers in the world. For Roach, it was a chance to prove himself against a formidable opponent and potentially secure a career-defining victory.
I don't see why people like, oh, you brought up a smaller guy, woo-de-woo, blah, blah, blah. You know, I mean, like, to me personally, I'm not stunned there. You know what I'm saying? They're going to keep saying that.
Because he believes he's going to knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change.
I mean, you're in the wrong game if you don't think you're going to beat everybody, like, anyway. But if you're saying specifically pick me because I'm going to be an easy cakewalk,
yep.
Everybody in the world knows that's not going to happen. I mean, like, that's not going to happen. Him personally, he know that. I think he chose me because I am going to be one of the better opponents that he's faced in his entire career, honestly.
Davis expressed deep disappointment over the cancellation. He revealed that he had invested countless hours in training and made numerous sacrifices to ensure he was fully prepared for the fight.
Doing this fight for money, and Tank is strategically picking him because in the amateur world, you guys fought twice, right? And you lost, what, both times? In the amateur fight. So are you all friends? Are y'all cordial? First, what's the relationship?
We're cordial, for
You're
sure.
cordial?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
He cool to me.
He's cool to you.
Yeah.
And you haven't heard that he said anything differently?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He has?
No, he hasn't.
He has not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Right.
confirming that. He hasn't said
He has
anything
not said
different.
anything differently. So does it confirm people's suspicion that he purposefully picked you, not only because you're cordial, but because he believes he's gonna knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change?
I mean, you're in the wrong game if you don't think you're going to beat.
The news of the cancellation was a huge blow, not only to Davis, but also to his team, who had worked tirelessly alongside him. Davis emphasized that the decision to call off the fight was out of his control, and he acknowledged the frustration and disappointment felt by his fans.
I think personally, I think he chose me because I am going to be one of the better opponents that he's faced in his entire career, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Davis explained that the cancellation was due to unforeseen circumstances beyond his and his team's control. While he did not delve into specific details, he hinted at logistical issues and complications that arose in the lead-up to the fight. Davis expressed his regret that these issues couldn't be resolved in time and acknowledged the efforts made by both teams to try and salvage.
His ass for y'all talk. For real. I better be quiet.
I don't give a if y'all was quiet, if y'all was loud.
We got the whole hood over there, like twisted up. I don't give a about none of that.
Y'all can do whatever y'all want. My mother, he can't stop nothing over here.
None of that.
Not at all.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna him up.
Not at all. Never. Nothing's gonna get up over here. What do I look like getting up?
Okay.
Ain't never gonna stop nothing over here.
And he gonna.
Despite the setback, Davis remained hopeful and optimistic about the future, expressing his determination to return to the ring as soon as possible.
I can't.
I guarantee it.
Calm down. Calm down, brother.
Come to the fight. Come to the fight.
They probably gonna get you up. Look, fool. Hey, fool. This me and you, fool. This me and you, fool.
Tank.
This me and you, fool.
Yeah.
Don't worry about them. They might get you. They gonna trick you off your spot. They gonna trick you off your spot, fool. Don't worry about them.
Come on, stop. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all know how I'm coming. Y'all know how I'm coming. So stop it. Y'all gonna make it hard for him. That's what y'all gonna do. Y'all gonna make it hard.
Terrific fighter. He might be a little over his head with GervontaDavis. GervontaDavis is, to say the least, he's a beast. He really is. He's a tremendous fighter. He's a dedicated fighter when it comes to training and fighting and making sure that he's in optimal conditions when he steps inside that squared circle. It's going to be a tough night for Roach, but you can never count him out. You know, watching him fight up close and personal, he's sneaky good, which means he can catch you at any time. He can land combinations, sometimes at will, without you even knowing it. You know, he's that sneaky. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But, obviously, GervontaDavis has the experience. He has the knowledge. He has that mean streak in him that will take you out with any.
Many critics argue that the upcoming Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach fight feels more like a money grab than a genuinely competitive.
He's doing this fight for money, and Tank is strategically picking him because in the amateur world, you guys fought twice, right? And you lost, both times in the amateur fight. So are you all friends? Are y'all cordial? First, what's the relationship?
We're cordial, for
You're
sure.
cordial?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
He cool to me.
He's cool to you.
Yeah.
And you haven't heard that he said anything differently?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He has?
No, he hasn't.
He has not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm confirming that. He hasn't said anything.
He has not said anything differently. So does it confirm people's suspicion that he purposefully picked you, not only because you're cordial, but because he believes he's going to knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change?
Man, you're in the wrong game if you don't think you're going to beat everybody.
Suggests that Tank has chosen Roach because he sees him as an easy opponent, someone he can defeat without much difficulty. Roach, on the other hand, is accused of taking the fight primarily for the payday rather than the challenge.
But because he believes he's going to knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change.
Man, you're in the wrong game if you don't think you're going to beat everybody. Anyway, but if you're saying specifically pick me because I'm going to be an easy cakewalk, everybody in the world knows that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Him personally, he know that. I think he chose me because I am going to be one of the better opponents that he's faced in his entire career, honestly.
Really?
LamontRoach has made it clear that his upcoming fight with Gervonta Tank Davis isn't motivated by money. He views Tank as an easy opponent, saying the fight will be a simple challenge, almost like a piece of cake. Roach emphasizes that he's the champion at 130 lbs, while Tank competes at 135 lbs. He suggests that if Tank were truly seeking a competitive challenge, he could have chosen to face fighters in higher weight classes, like Canelo Alvarez. However, Roach also acknowledges that the idea of Tank fighting Canelo is unrealistic, as Canelo competes at 168 lbs, the super middleweight.
Of what your record, because you had to get, if I'm not mistaken, you had to get permission to be bumped up to that weight class of lightweight in order to fight, because you're in a what range of 130?
Yeah, I'm the champion at 130.
You're the world champion at 130, and he's 135. Yeah, so aren't there other fighters he could have fought within an upper weight class like Canelo? I've heard a lot of people say, why isn't he fighting Canelo rather than Roach? What's up with that?
They want that man to fight Canelo, man.
They do.
I don't know, that's
I've
crazy.
heard a lot of people. LamontRoach makes it clear that his upcoming fight with Gervonta Tank Davis isn't motivated by money. He views Tank as an easy opponent, claiming the fight will be a simple challenge, almost like a piece of cake. Roach emphasizes that he is the reigning champion at 130 lbs, while Tank competes in the 135 lb.
Frank Martin was inexperienced and nervous. You know, it is what it is. It's going to be a different fight when I'm in there. He's going to be a different fighter when he's fighting me.
What's your game plan?
Whoop his ass. I'm always looking for a knockout. No matter what, I'm always prepared for 12 rounds. But I'm always looking for a knockout, and if I get the chance, I'm going to try to knock his head.
He suggests that if Tank were truly looking for a competitive fight, he could have chosen to face fighters in higher weight classes like Canelo Alvarez instead of Roach. However, Roach points out that the idea of Tank fighting Canelo is unrealistic, as Canelo competes at 168 lbs in the...
At the end of next year, do you think he has one foot out the door?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was a mistake for him to say that, especially in front of me. So, you know, I'm going to just take advantage of him and show him why he shouldn't have said that or why he shouldn't be contemplating.
Analyst Showbiz the Adult recently shared his thoughts on the Tank Davis versus LamontRoach matchup, expressing his disappointment over what he perceives as a mismatch. He argued that Tank Davis is being avoided by some of the top fighters in the division, which has led him to face less competitive opponents.
My take on the fight. Everything is true about this situation. One, Gervonta Tank Davis was being ducked leading up to this. Shakur Stevenson ducked him. Lomachenko ducked him openly. El Rayo didn't want to fight this year. He wanted to fight next year. Another thing is, I was hearing that Tank wanted it at 135 and rehydration, all kind of shit. So, but I don't know how true that is, which it wouldn't shock me if that was true. Either way, for whatever reason, El Rayo fell apart. The options were just getting diabolical. All right, I understand that. At the same time, LamontRoach versus Tank is trash. If Devin Haney announced he was fighting LamontRoach coming up from 130 next at 135, I'll say that shit's trash. Let me tell you this. To me, Gervonta is far better than Devin Haney. So it's trash, bruh. It's trash.
Lloyd Schofield. Another boxer in the lightweight division shares his opinion on GervontaDavis's focus in the lead-up to the Roach fight. Schofield suggests that Tank would be better off focusing on his opponent rather than getting distracted by outside noise, such as social media or personal
spirits if I hadn't ate today. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Obviously, an important fight for you. Every fight at this point is an important fight for you because of what you know is looming. It's close. I was just talking to Oscar about, you know, another successful fight. You're this close to a potential GervontaDavis fight. Like, what does that feel like for you at this stage in your career?
It feels good because, you know, this is the things that we worked for. You know, me being number 2 in the WBA, it's just like a dream come true almost. I didn't collect the belt yet, but I worked my whole life for this, me and my dad, So when the opportunity presents itself, we're going to be more than ready. But it's a dream come true, really.
Roach takes the opportunity to address concerns about his weight class,
stating that he
is comfortable fighting at 130 LEBs, despite some people claiming that he is too small.
Isn't the biggest 135 pounder. Everybody fights is damn near bigger than him. I think the only person that was smaller than him was Pitbull. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just in height and stature. He was, technically bigger than Tank too. But Tank is comfortable at 135, so I don't blame him for fighting that way. But he's not a big 35. I don't see why people would like, oh, you brought up a smaller guy, woo-de-woo, blah, blah, blah. I mean, like, to me personally, I'm not stunned that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna keep saying that. They're gonna keep saying that. You know what I'm saying? I fight at 130 because that's what I campaign at. That's where I started my career. That's where I campaigned. That's why I worked my way up to a world title. And that's what I was gonna do. My plan was always to move up to 35 and win another title. So it just happened a little, a little earlier than normal.
Yeah, but I mean, you fought at 35 before.
It was just, so technically them wasn't just 35 fights. Like when a boxer starting their career, they don't necessarily have to make 130 pounds because we're not in title contention or none of that. So the opponents that I was getting, the opponents that were there or were available, opponents that were selected for me were probably bigger, or they just couldn't occur at like 40. I was supposed to fight at 32. He was 8 pounds overweight. They made him lose weight. I went ate breakfast and weighed in. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. That's how it be in the beginning of people's career. That's why different people fight at different weights, and everybody doesn't necessarily fight under their weight that they campaigning, or at the weight that they campaigning technically when they start off.
LamontRoach's reaction to the cancellation of his fight with Tank was one of confusion and frustration. After Davis claimed on social media that the fight was canceled, Roach quickly responded, denying the claim and asserting that he was still preparing for the bout. He posted on his Instagram story, "They keep asking me for that expletive, not me. I'm locked in. Ain't changed. March 1st.
Yeah, so it's about time.
Lamont, when Tank says that he's going to retire at the end of next year, do you think he has one foot out the door?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was a mistake for him to say that, especially in front of me. So, I'm going to just take advantage of him and show him why he shouldn't have said that, or why he shouldn't be contemplating that.
When he talks about you not bringing your family, what goes through your mind when you hear him say that?
I ain't worried about that shit.
What advantage do you feel like you have going into this fight?
Just overall being something that he's not.
Stephen A. Smith, a prominent sports commentator, weighed in on the Davis versus LamontRoach fight, expressing his opinion that Roach might be at a disadvantage due to his size. Smith mentioned that Roach is too small for the fight and suggested that Davis, being the larger fighter, might have the upper hand. He also commented on the weight difference between the two fighters, noting that Davis is moving up in weight class, which could play a significant...
I, of course, want to throw your way as GervontaDavis. I know you believe in his skills.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
What do you think of his fight with Roach? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think Roach is too small. I think Roach is too small. And that's my issue. I'm not questioning the skill set or anything like that, but it was similar to Frank Martin. You know what I mean? This guy comes in there and you got 18 fights. And I remember watching that pre-fight press conference when he was annoying GervontaDavis so much, and he cussed by accident. Excuse me. He cussed by accident. He was like, ooh, making this up. He hurt me in sparring, and, and I knew Gervonta was going to come for him, and sure enough, that's what he did. Walked right towards him from round one on.